Hello there.
The production of the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi show started this month in April, and the show is set to launch in early 2022. So this video will be about what story we are going to see, the revealed cast and the characters there will be. We also get a sneak peek leak from the set, and we will talk about a very possible story option, so stay tuned. First, we take a look at the timeline. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is settled 10 years after episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, 10 years after the end of the Clone Wars, and it's settled 9 years before episode 4, A New Hope, where we first get to see the adventures of Luke Skywalker. The show will be settled between the events of Solo and the Rebels show. So what options does that leave? By the time of the events of this show, Luke and Leia may be around 10 years old, so they're not going to be a very big role here. In episode 4, Luke mentions that he knows a Ben Kenobi, and also Leia calls Obi-Wan Kenobi for help after their ship gets captured by Vader, so it's very likely to see a meeting between them, but they're not the main focus of the storyline. More important here is that Darth Maul is still alive and the head of the Crimson Dawn cartel. At the end of Solo, which will play just a few years before the story begins, he ordered Qi'ra to him at Dathomir to work much closer to her, so there's a very likely chance that we are going to see more of this crime syndicate again. So the thing here is that in Rebels, which will play a little later than the Kenobi show, Maul is completely mentally broken and Crimson Dawn has been destroyed. So by this time Maul is obsessed with Obi-Wan, he is alone and he is hunted by Inquisitors, and the Obi-Wan show will tell us why. So the show is also the best opportunity to bring Maul back in live action. Also the clones, they should be around 45 now. It's already seen in Solo that the clones have been replaced by stormtroopers, but it could be the case that some key clones could remain in some important Imperial positions, such as Admiral Yularen became an important Imperial intelligence officer. So there's the chance that they will bring back some fan favorites, for example Cody. But besides these details, there are no confirmed infos about the story, it's unclear what it will be about. It's just sure that because of the events, Obi-Wan will have to leave Tatooine, and there will be a grand final rematch between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan there. Continuing, we have the cast which was revealed by Disney a few weeks ago. Of course, we have Jesus himself returning in his main role. We also got Hayden Christensen back, which is interesting because he would be a little wasted if he just appears under the mask of Darth Vader. So there are many speculations that the show will feature flashbacks, maybe to the Clone Wars, maybe to Order 66 and the Jedi Purge or Anakin in the Jedi Temple, or we are going to see Vader without his mask. So I'm very excited what they are doing with Hayden Christensen here. Next at number 3, we already have Moses Ingram. To be honest, I have no clue who she could play or what her character will be about. Maybe an ally to Obi-Wan, we don't know yet. I just know that she was in Queen's Gambit and did a pretty solid job here, so a solid actor. Next we have Joel Edgerton and Bonnie Piesse returning as Luke's aunt and uncle, Owen and Beru Lars. Then we have Kumail Nanjiani. I didn't know him before, to be honest. He seems to be the nerd of the group and always be a little funny guy. Then we got Indira Varma, and she was known from Game of Thrones, where she plays Illyria Sand, who is the lover of Pedro Pascal in this show, who plays the Mandalorian by the way. So it would be fun to see some connection here, but I don't think they will do it. Indira Varma is a very solid actress. She may be an Imperial female officer, an agent as seen in Rebels, or even an Inquisitor. So I'm hyped for her role. And then next we have Rupert Friens. So the boring option for him is that he will be an Imperial officer, but the more interesting option will be that he is Korkie Kryze. In case you are not familiar with him, he is a Mandalorian teenager who first appeared in the Clone Wars as the pretended nephew of Duchess Satine Kryze of Mandalore. And it seems to be more than just coincidence that he appears in the same story arc, in which we learn more about a former romance between Obi-Wan and the Duchess Satine Kryze, which was settled before the events of episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So fans speculate that Korkie might be the outcome of this romance where Obi-Wan had to protect Satine for a decent period of time in which they were alone in exile. This speculation would also match his age. He is around 18 in the Clone Wars and would be around 13 now. Although this fan theory was never confirmed or denied, this is the best opportunity to bring him back in live action on screen. And I mean, can't tell me there is no relation here. So back to the cast, continuing, we have O'Shea Jackson. He always plays a likable and funny guy. He's most likely going to be a friend of Obi-Wan. Then we have Sung Kang, who is a fan favorite from the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. He was very sympathical there and I don't think that they could do anything wrong with him. I'm not quite familiar with the last two actors, Simone Kessel and Barry Safdie, but I like that they give unknown actors like opportunities to play Star Wars characters on the big screen. Benny Safdie also seems to be a director who could assist Deborah Chow in many scenes. And there we are already at the next point. The show will be directed by Deborah Chow, who already directed some episodes from The Mandalorian. They are episode 3, The Sin, and episode 7, The Reckoning of the first season. Those were pretty solid and important key episodes, so a very solid choice here. We also got a leak from the set, which is currently under construction. It seems to be on Tatooine. They are building a city here, or a small town. Pretty interesting to see what they do and how much effort they put in. I was just wondered why they built the city for real and don't just use stagecraft as they did in The Mandalorian and they already announced for the Obi-Wan show, but maybe that implies that this will be the location of a bigger story arc which will be more important. Speaking of a story arc, the show will be a closed show, so that means the first season is also the only season. The bad news here is that the show only will have 6 episodes, which will most likely be released one by one every Friday again. But the good news here is that each episode will be at least 1 hour long. So that's 6 whole hours of episodes. That's nearly as long as the whole prequels are, so you can say I'm hyped for the show. That's it for today, guys. That's everything we know so far and all speculations we got. Let me know in the comments what you think about this show and see you next week.